Hello and welcome to the tutorial on using Project Gutenberg to find ebooks. In this tutorial you will be learning how to search Project Gutenberg for works that are largely in the public domain. Project Gutenberg is the world's oldest digital library. It was started in 1979 and its mission is to encourage the creation and distribution of ebooks. It offers approximately 49,000 ebooks and they are available to read online or download to a device. They're available in lots of various formats, though not all documents are available in all formats. This project is constantly expanding, so keep it in mind every time you do historical research. To access Project Gutenberg from any computer, go first to www.gutenberg.org. The site is pretty easily searchable, and there's really no advanced search option. You can search by work title or author. Keep in mind, older works will be easier to find. In general, works published within the U.S. before 1923 are all in the public domain. Older works published in other countries are also easily locatable. So for my first search here, I'll be searching for Thomas Paine. Now I know he wrote Common Sense, but I also know that he wrote a whole bunch of other things. So if I'm looking for primary sources by Thomas Paine, let's see what I get. Now I get a lot of results, and some of them were, of course, written by Thomas Paine. Others might be about him, and then still more might have him as a subject term. He might be kind of tangentially mentioned in them. But since I'm looking for primary sources, I want to find things actually written by him. One of the things I can do over here is use the authors tool to weed some of them out. So I can go to the authors tool. It tells me that there's one author that matches Thomas Paine, and if I look, of course, at the life dates, I can tell that that is the Thomas Paine that I mean. So if I click on that, that's going to weed out everything that was not written specifically by him, and it finds that there's Common Sense, there's also multiple volumes of a set that has all of his writings, and there's even a letter over here written by him. I'm going to go ahead and open Common Sense, and what I can do, I can read this in my browser. If I have internet access, I can just open it up in HTML. I can download it as an EPUB, which means if I put it on my device, I'm probably going to need Adobe Digital Editions to read that. Or I can download it to a Kindle. If I don't have a Kindle, I can download the Kindle app to read it on my device as well. If I open it up in HTML, it opens just in my browser. I can use the headings over here to search it for different spots. And I forgot to mention as well, I can also download to Dropbox, Drive, and also to OneDrive. So there's a lot of functionality within just finding the author. Now, if I don't know specifically the book that I want to find or the author I want to find, I'm doing more subject searching, I can also use Project Gutenberg for that. Let's say I know I want to write about the American Revolution and I don't know what Project Gutenberg has to offer. I can put that in and I get a whole mess of results. Now what I want to do is narrow them down a bit because this is kind of a bit overwhelming. If I go to the subject headings over here, I can see that they're actually split up into 4 different subjects here, and they're not really what I'm looking for. There's the Soviet Union and American participation in their revolution. There's personal narratives from Americans in the Soviet Revolution. There's African American participation in the U.S. Revolution, and then there's the Cuban Revolution. So one of the problems seems to be the fact that I put in American. So let's try United States Revolution. Now I have a whole bunch of results again, and I can do the same thing if I use the subject function here. And it tells me that I've got all these different great topics. So if I'm not really sure what I want to write about, this is a great tool to use. I can look at prisoners in prisons during the American Revolution. I can look at campaigns. I can look at personal narratives. I can look at biographies. I can look at naval operations by the British. All these things are broken down here. And if I want to open up something like, we'll just do prisoners in prisons, then it looks like there are a couple books for me to use. And things like narratives and diaries in particular are going to be really great primary sources for my paper. This looks like it's going to be a secondary source. So if I'm just looking for primary sources, I want to make sure that I'm looking at narratives, diaries, records, things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you use Project Gutenberg. It's constantly expanding, and it's really great for finding stuff that was published before the 1920s in the U.S. And elsewhere as well.